We are back for another episode of Tough Men of Faith.
What's up, RT?
I'm doing good. We have the one and only Matt Roller.
Yeah.
We need an applause
Episode
button
number
or something.
504.
I don't know. He's done a couple when he's been here before.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like 15 or 16 probably
Yeah.
from Matt.
He's like our most favoriteest guest.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh,
Am I your only guest? No, I heard Mayor Buckley one time, so I know
Buckley
I'm not
was
the
on.
only.
we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who else have we
Yeah.
had multiple times?
I don't know.
Okay. Oh,
Daniel Earl. Yeah, he's been. Do you know Daniel Earl?
No.
Oh, you guys should meet.
Yeah, you'd like to meet him.
We're going to do a roundtable podcast one day.
Sounds
Like
good.
6 cameras, 6 microphones. And we're going to sit in a big circle, and Blake's going to,
He's
gonna
gonna have
be
a
awesome.
heart attack.
It's going to drive him absolutely
Yeah.
nuts, but we're going to have a
Yeah.
blast doing it.
I'm just now hearing about this, but I'm excited.
But I think you come, maybe we
Yeah.
get Daniel to come.
Yeah.
Who else is loud that we've had in before?
I know you call him Matt Loud.
Well, I thought it was going well
It
until
is,
you
yeah.
just said that.
It's a good loud.
Yeah.
We've had
Sometimes
some,
it can get loud.
We've had some really soft-spoken people that probably wouldn't work well for that
Yeah, nah. Hard to be tough men of faith and
if you're soft-spoken.
soft-spoken.
Yeah. Maybe it's a good quality.
Maybe it is.
Maybe I need to be a little more
You know,
soft-spoken.
Sometimes it wouldn't hurt if you were a little bit more soft-spoken.
See?
Or not speak anything at all.
Yeah.
That would be.
Mute the microphone.
Like the other day when we went out to dinner.
That would have been a time.
That would have been a
That
great time.
would have been a time.
Yep.
Yep.
I give my wife a not so great compliment on her hair
Oh no.
that she had been working on for like an hour.
Oh,
I don't even know if you should talk
goodness.
about this now.
It's okay. It's good now.
No, I don't.
Yeah. Her hair
Oh,
looks
she doesn't
wa-
watch this.
her-
Right?
No,
No,
she
she
does.
watches
No,
it.
she
Oh,
does.
no.
Yeah, her hair looks much better.
Yeah, I'd rather not.
Yeah.
We're getting ready to have dinner together, all of us. So I'd rather.
She won't see it before then. Good thing.
That's true, but then she knows Yeah. All right, let's
She knows
just go
that
on.
you know.
Yeah. So Matt agreed to stick around, do another episode with us.
Yeah, thank you.
It's good to have him on.
You know, last week we
Appreciate
thought we had a plan. Yeah, it's good to be here. It's good to have you, Matt. Thanks, Nick.
Yeah. Yeah, get rid of all that,
Yeah.
Oh.
Last week
I
we had
know
a
Nick
plan.
liked
We're
it.
gonna
Yeah,
talk
now
about
all the
Nick.
pleasantries are out of the way.
Yeah. Get down to business. So I was just asking what you're preaching through. You said you're preaching through James.
Yep.
Then you mentioned that you've been getting your sermons from Villa because
That's-
we preached through it last year.
That's right. Thank you.
yeah, you're welcome.
What not
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah. We just got ours from some other church. So it's,
It's all research.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I just use AI now. I no longer
Oh,
write
yeah.
sermons.
A little
Yeah,
bit of
Sunday
plagiarism.
morning. Yeah.
A little bit of
Just
research.
have AI, print out the message for you.
I
get it
change
pretty
a few
close.
words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's pretty
edit it a
close.
little bit.
I
Yeah.
don't want to plagiarize it, but
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
once you call it original,
Yeah. So
he
you're preaching.
changes the these and thous to those and thems.
Yeah.
You know.
That's good. Hey,
Yeah,
we
you
want to
should-
get every gender out there. I heard there's like 200 different genders anymore.
You
I
should
don't know.
try having Nick set second row when you preach sometime.
I thought he slept the whole time.
No,
What do you know
no,
about
he
that?
does not sleep.
Nope.
This past week, I was telling Karen last night because I said something in my sermon. It's like, do you know who drives me nuts? And I look
She
out
said,
there,
"Nick."
and Nick like immediately perks up. Can't wait to hear what I'm saying next. And he has that stupid grin on his face like he does right now.
Yeah,
and
that's the
several
one.
other people are just waiting to hear what I was going to say next because they thought I was going to get myself in trouble.
Yeah.
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 And
I
did.
forget what you said, but
I
it
talked
wasn't
about.
anything real comical. So.
No, it wasn't comical. I just
I
said.
know what you said now.
Yeah,
I remember.
I was talking about Christians who really like they get upset when they face opposition. They're like, this isn't supposed to happen, and you know
I
they're
didn't sign up for this.
didn't sign up for this,
Yeah.
and then we're kind of working through some things in Acts, like, hey, this is really what the Christian life looks like. It's like soldiers
Yeah.
who sign up, and then you see them interviewed on the news. It's like, I didn't sign up to go to war. I can't believe I'm in war.
Yeah.
I signed up to get free college tuition. Like, you signed up for the army.
Yeah.
like
That comes with it.
that comes with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind
If
of
you want to go to war, go to the Air Force. Big sissies.
It is funny. The last sermon series I did was on Acts, so you must be taking mine.
Maybe that's probably the reason our church is decreasing in numbers.
Oh. No, that's the presentation, whatever
Oh,
you're
is it?
delivering.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're actually going up right now, so maybe I should keep
Oh.
preaching your sermons. I don't know. It's,
I'm just going to be quiet here. You
Yeah.
gotta
Man,
twist
here we
anything.
go.
I can twist it
Like
all,
a
man.
politician.
This is why you guys cancel lunches. You guys can't even eat anything. You're just back and forth the whole time.
All right, so you're preaching through James.
Yeah.
So I just threw it on you. It's like, hey, let's
Yeah.
talk through
I'm
what
in
you're
it.
preaching in James. Great book, practical book.
Love it. Love it so much.
Where are you at right now?
So just did a message on James chapter 2, 1 through 13, and it was so good.
Pull that up. James
It-
2, 1 through 13.
Yeah, it talks about, don't give favoritism to somebody that comes in and they look really good. So if they look like RT, don't favor them. If they look like Nick, really, bad or whatever, don't look down on them. That type of thing.
Yeah,
And
we just went through this recently.
what, you looking bad or what?
No. No, about not being just friends with the pretty people at church, but
Yeah.
reach out to the uglies too, because
Yeah.
they need you just as much.
Okay, good, yeah.
It's basically the message, It's, RT cleaned
And
it
the
up a little
church is
bit.
growing, huh?
Yeah,
Is that what it is?
Yeah, like I said, RT cleaned it up a little bit. So.
Yeah, of course. And what was interesting is we had several guys come from a local homeless shelter that morning. And that was kind of funny. I was like, I walk out of my office to the foyer and see these guys coming in. Of course, that if you know anything about me, I lived in that world for a lot of years.
Yeah.
Worked at the shelter, so I knew that. Well, I presumed anyway that those guys came from that area, and I just went to say hi to them and all those kind of stuff. And then after I shook their hands and welcomed them, I was like, "Oh, this is kind of funny," is because these guys.
This is going to be great.
Yes, it's like, Lord, thank you for this great.
All the people at your church think you
Yeah.
brought props.
I know. I didn't even do it.
You called Wheeler and you're like, you know what? I need a busload of guys today.
Yeah. But it's sad. I mean,
Yeah.
we're laughing and stuff, but
We're keeping it light, but
we are.
Oh.
But it's really, if anybody would have a prejudice towards a person because they're homeless or they are dirty, they smell bad, whatever. I mean, I understand not wanting to smell people that smell bad, but if we would say, well, we don't want them here, but hey, as long as you look nice, you look churchy.
yeah, as long as you fit the part, you can come through the doors.
You come through the door.
right.
It's like, and now
It's
I
like,
don't.
wait a minute, Jesus didn't hang out with those people, right? Jesus hung out with the people that stunk, the people that,
hung out with a sinner, friend
Yeah.
of a sinner.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I do think.
That's why RT's friends with me.
Yeah.
Well, he's still got a lot of work to do
Yeah.
on you.
He
too,
sure
bro.
does. Yeah, we know.
That's really what Tough Men of Faith is. It's a discipleship program that we're recording to have for others. So,
We're gonna see your spiritual growth one day.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it's gonna be that.
it's getting
So we
there.
can all watch
I'm
Nick's
starting to remember some of the
sanctification.
sermons.
Well, if you stop making faces at him,
Yeah, I
it'll
know.
be all right. But no, I mean, it is a bad thing here in our American culture that if there's anyone that is only wanting people to look like them,
Right.
but God called us to go out to the highways, byways, old word, right? Phrase, verse. But we are supposed to go out to those that need Jesus,
Right.
and that doesn't always look pretty.
Yeah.
And when I was at the shelter, I was super I was sheltered. Before I went to work
Oh, yeah.
at the shelter, and very much a Christian bubble that I lived in, and it really. Those years were some of the best years of my life.
Yeah.
Because it got me to see people more than what I saw on the outside.
Right.
And one of the teachers I've had in my education, the way he said it, Dr. Wyatt Mullinax is his name, and he would say, you need to look at everybody that you come across as someone that has a sign on their forehead that says, for whom Christ died for. And so you start picturing people like, oh, that person. And I think, I mean, in our world, when we have so much weird cultures, not culture's the word, but weird, agendas being pushed on us.
Yeah.
I think we look at the transgender agenda, the LGBTQ and all the other letters that go with that, the wokeism, all of the other things that people that in my position or kind of like me will look at and say all the ills of our society and we're going crazy. We could look at it that way, or we could look at it and say there's a whole lot of people that need Jesus,
Right.
and I don't care what they look like. I don't care if it's a guy wearing a dress. I'm going to go talk to him and tell him.
Now they put themselves into a
about
group
Jesus.
and they're easier
Right.
to find.
Right.
And, now we can just go back to the group and say, look, I finally found you.
Yeah.
What can we do to help?
Yeah. That's where we were at, and I looked at also the parable in Luke chapter 18 when Jesus. It's interesting. He said when he was talking to people, I'm paraphrasing this parable, that thought they were better than other people.
Yeah.
And he talks about the Pharisee and the tax collector.
Right.
And the Pharisee says, "Hey God, thanks for all you've given me, but I'm so glad that I haven't done this or that, or I'm even as bad as this tax collector," right? And then he starts talking about all of the stuff that he does. I give tithe, I do this sacrifice and all that. But then the tax collector over there, like way off from the Pharisee, and he just humbles himself and he said, "God, I know I'm a sinner." And the reality is, I find that it's easy in church today to be more like the Pharisee than to be more like the tax collector.
Yep.
Because church is a place where we hide behind a facade that we put up, and we're not often real. But that's what will be projected. I'm good. I'm all right,
Yep.
right? And the at least the tax collector knew, hey, I'm a mess. I'm a sinner, but yet we have a choice who we're going to act like. And oftentimes, if we're this group that's the Pharisees, religious people that act like everything's good, we don't want to have anything to do with this group over here, right? We want to always talk about all the stuff we do good. Look what I've done. And you probably have had people here in Villa talk about, hey, I've done this and that and this and that. Well, you're supposed to do that because you love the Lord anyway. You don't need to talk about it.
Yeah, shouldn't be doing it for recognition.
Yeah. So anyway, this gets me.
Yeah, it sounds like it. James chapter 2 is your.
Yeah, I well, again, as you said, a very practical book, but just that attitude.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, can I say this? I'm going to say
You can basically.
Blake can edit it.
No,
if he
we don't
needs
even
to.
edit anymore. We just say stuff.
I've been in the same church all my life. I told you guys this.
Yep.
I see this attitude when it's out there. I see it more in Baptist churches.
Yeah.
Than others that I know of, and I would say that's not the way it should be.
Right.
That is absolutely not the way it should be. And so Jesus said, James is a lot about faith, like living your faith. And he's saying, don't live your faith like you're going to lift up one and put down another group. Like, man, everybody needs to know the Lord.
Well, James 2 is like, how does your faith help you deal with people you don't like?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's the essence of James 2, because it's faith's the main theme in James. Chapter 2 is like, there's some people you don't like.
Right.
How are you going to deal with them?
Right.
Is what I pick up from James 2.
Yeah.
I would say, so when I was thinking, you're talking about when the homeless people come in or something, but for me, like, I think our churches probably do okay at that. But if we're honest, when someone comes in, maybe we're in an election cycle this year, a big election cycle.
Of course.
So when someone comes in that sits on the other side of the party,
then
maybe that what your church is
y'all are okay, but
accustomed to.
Not you.
That's a good point.
All of a sudden you start to see division. Because when you look at James, he's talking to Jews and Gentiles, slaves and free people. So you're seeing a lot of division. And then he starts out James 2 saying, my brothers. So telling them like, hey, family.
Yeah, I don't care where
you're all
sit.
family here. I don't care if you're slave or if you own the slave. I don't care if you're Jew or Gentile. This is how we're going to operate here.
Yeah.
So for me, like when I start putting language like that, now it'd be Democrat or Republican or Libertarian or, how diverse are we on Sunday morning and to start going down the track on that.
Yeah, that's a good point because it's so multifaceted problem, right? It's not just looking down on a poor person or a gay person or whatever, but it is that, and that divides. I mean, I feel like politics really divides families and churches. And what I said last Sunday in church is there are church killers, right? There are things that will kill the spirit of a church. And oftentimes it comes around, the King James word was partiality. Don't be partial in yourself, right? It's because you prefer one thing and you're not going to want what anybody else has preferred. And it's just a killer. It kills the spirit of a church.
Yeah. So like, because in James, right, that's where he's saying there too that, hey, if you don't have money, you go sit in the back or sit over here. So I know, like for us now, that the best seats would be the back row seats, so we don't try to do that.
Yeah.
But do we send a message to others that you really don't have a seat at this table?
Mm.
So, hey, we're going to give you a leadership position because you look like me, you act like me, you make about what I make, and we're going to let you lead in this position. Man, you're welcome to come, but just know that you're not taking a leadership position because there's some differences.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned last time we talked, Saul, like King
Yeah.
Saul. They wanted him, like,
Yeah.
because he looked really good,
Yep.
and it turned out really bad.
Yeah.
And so just because somebody has that look and all that doesn't mean it's going to
Right.
be a good thing.
No. No.
Yeah. So, so that spoke, I think, well with our church, and we're a predominantly white church.
Yeah.
But we do have, different groups, and we had some Haitians join
Yeah.
our church this past week, and it was just really good. What I loved loved about this is everybody that stayed and just passed the line welcoming them to
Yeah.
our church, and that was so good. I mean, it did my heart good
Yeah.
just to see all of that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, what separates the church from any organization in the world is that if you're a member of that body of the
Mhm.
church, like you're on equal playing field with you as the pastor. Everyone at the church is on equal playing
That's
field,
right.
right? I mean,
Right.
they belong in that church just as much as you belong in that church.
Right.
It has the family idea. So if Nick shows up at Thanksgiving and they start looking like, Nick, you don't make very much in this family compared to your 6 brothers and sisters or whatever. So you're going to sit over there at the kids' table, right? It's like, no, it doesn't happen because he's a son, right? So he
Right.
belongs at the
Absolutely.
table. And that's the same with the church. Nick
Nice
doesn't really
analogy,
have
thank
6
you.
Yeah.
siblings,
Yeah.
but that's the thing. Like, doesn't matter what your socioeconomic status is or
Right.
struggles you may have, you belong here. So,
Yeah, and I mean, I know we can get mushy sounding when we say stuff like this, but we really have to see value in people.
yeah.
That every single person has value. Now, from decisions that they made or things that they done, like I think about sex offenders. For most of us, we think about that type of crime. We think, well, that's the worst of worst, and I would say, yeah, that's up there. It's
Yeah.
pretty bad and all that. But does even a person like that
Yeah.
have a seat in our church,
Yep.
Yeah.
right?
and
And
value.
of course you have to have some limitations and
Sure.
Yeah.
protections and stuff like that. But what does people look at those group of people like?
Yep.
And I especially understand if you're a mom or dad and you got little kids and a guy did something to a kid and you're just like, ooh, I get it.
Yeah.
There's where you don't have to trust, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's that person still needs Jesus too.
Yeah.
Right.
When we naturally kind of look down or complain about people who aren't like us,
Of course.
right? Rich complain about the poor.
Yeah.
The poor complain about the rich.
Yeah.
Young people
Absolutely.
complain about old people. Old people just complain
They
about
just
young
complain.
people. Yeah, I was going to say that, and I thought I'm going to refrain. They complain about young
Thanks,
people.
buddy.
Yeah.
You set me up and then walked away again.
Yeah, if you aren't like me, then you're doing something wrong.
Yeah. I mean, of course, Jesus, like, it was the Jews or the Gentiles, right? And when Jesus came, what he did, he says, no more. That's
Yeah.
broken down. We're all one in Christ. Whether, if you're a believer in Christ, and it's like, yeah, but we don't always act like that.
Right?
Yeah.
So how do we get there?
Yeah. The good news
Guilty.
is,
Thanks. Thanks for a little conviction, Pastor Matt. Appreciate you.
That's the Holy Spirit, brother.
Yeah.
no matter how others may treat you, because I think that's where, in James 2, mercy triumphs over judgment.
Yeah.
Is that in that? I think that's in that
Yeah.
passage.
Yeah.
Is where even if someone treats you bad, even if someone in church treats you bad, God will still show you mercy.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, at the end of the day, mercy triumphs, and you can still be part of God's family.
Right.
Yeah. In that same verse is the implication: if you didn't show mercy, you won't get it either.
That's true. How'd you preach that?
I don't know.
Okay.
That was only a couple of days ago, but I forget.
Word for word.
But,
Word for word.
I think I just added in a few
Yeah.
bullet points, but yeah, just let the word speak.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this has been good. Where are we at,
Yep.
Blake, on time? Okay, so we're about at our time.
Okay.
You're a long-winded preacher,
I
right?
am. I'm sorry. I've been doing better Sundays, but I need to work on it.
No,
here,
this is
so.
we're a good time now, but I just know like
Yeah.
you came to Villa once and everyone's like, man, I love this preaching, but that was
But
like
it
three
was
of you.
too long.
That was like 3 of your sermons. I was
But
like,
we
well,
gotta
Matt's
get to
3 times
lunch,
as
you
smart
know?
as I am. So it's, yeah, we can't invite you when we have 2 services
I
because
know.
yeah.
I know. It'd pour into the next.
How long do you
service.
usually preach?
I've actually matured in my preaching,
Okay.
and I've gotten it down to 35 minutes.
Okay.
So I was, more 45
Okay.
to an hour, and realized, there's an old saying that most people's mind can't, go as long as their rears can
Yeah.
stand sitting there,
Yep.
Yeah, you lose people attention after a certain amount
Yeah.
of time.
Yeah, about
Well,
22 minutes.
Well, I think depends on the delivery as well.
I think delivery is important. Yeah. I'm saying mine's not always the greatest delivery, but hey, I'm still working on it.
No, you do a good job, man. You're fired up, and I listen to your sermons sometimes.
really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Put you to sleep at night? What do
No, I've been known to put. I got a guy that I put to sleep about every week here at Villa. So it's
Oh, Nick, yeah.
no, it's not Nick.
Well, I did have, this is a dear friend, and he's passed away, but there was one time I'm preaching away, and a guy literally, he's older guys. We're
Yeah.
going to blame it on his age.
Yeah.
And
That's what we'll do too.
Yeah.
Sits on the back row, but he was on the very end, and he falls over. Like, all I see is legs going
Man.
over, and from the pulpit, just natural reactions. Oh, get him, and so I didn't mean to shine light on it, but
Yeah.
it was just
I
natural.
think we're going to get a recliner for this guy.
Well, I mean, it happened to Peter, right, in the Bible.
He did, yeah.
Someone fell asleep, fell out the
Was it
window?
Peter or Paul?
Paul.
Paul, yeah.
Paul, yeah.
The kid, 3rd floor, he fell.
Yeah, fell.
Yeah.
So I mean, if he puts people to sleep, then we're in good company.
I know, yeah. But Paul raised him back, helped through
Well,
the power of God raise him back to life.
Yeah,
I
so that's
don't know
what we
if I
expect
could
of
do
you
that.
too. So. All right. Well, thanks for coming on.
Thank you
It's
so
been
much,
really good,
guys.
and
Thank you.
we'll definitely
Yeah,
get you
thanks
back
again.
on.
Yeah.
And whenever we have that big panel that Nick's talking about,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We're doing the round table.
the round table. We'll bring you on the round table with Daniel Earl and a
I
couple
see
others.
Blake's face. It's
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
he's not into this.
he's
He
not
gets
into
that
it.
face. He gets that face every episode.
He'll get over it.
All right. Thanks for
What
listening
happens
today.
when you're the talent? You get to make some of the rules.
You know what? I'm just gonna let Nick wrap this up when he's ready to wrap it
Thanks
up.
for visiting. Thanks for watching Tough Men of Faith. Catch us on Instagram, X, YouTube. Like it, share it, listen to it again.
Yeah.
If you got any questions, call RT. His email is nevermind.
See you guys later.